Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to me building cars. Now, the last stream I attempted, someone wanted to have a Japanese compact style of vehicle made, so I'm going to attempt that. So, what do we have from the last 5 years? Um, Nothing. Okay, it's a bit hopeless. Last 20 years, no older than that. I wonder if we could. It sounds ridiculous. I don't think it's that compact though, is it? 2.9 meters long. At least not by this game's standards. 2005 hatchback. This seems like an interesting vehicle to build. Kind of compact at 2.6 meters. Not the smallest thing in the game, but still pretty small. We'll have aluminium panels. It'll be a modern vehicle. It's not going to look the best here, but it should look good enough. And I'll see. Do we want a space frame? I'm thinking go full on Audi A2 on it, but no. I think we just want a standard unitary construction with AHS steel. It's a standard car, it's not anything fancy, nor does it need to be. We'll go with a transverse engine. I think that's quite common on Japanese cars. Double wishbone front, which I do like as it improves handling a lot. And we'll go with torsion beam wear because it's cheap and it doesn't really make a difference what rear suspension type you have for handling. Okay. Ooh. You can get a saloon of it. Or, yeah, saloon. It looks kind of like a liftback, but I do like this, actually. The State is, I guess, what you'd call a better handling vehicle. However, this is a odd little thing, and I like odd little things. So, you know, it's maybe not the compact, if you mean hatchback, something like Subaru Justy, would they call them, and the other vehicles. Let's give it blue wheels. No, ugh, that just does not look good at all. That kind of has some flair to it, almost like a 50s car. Although, I change those. Actually, I can change them now. Do I want ultra basic wheels? You know what? I think if I can find something that works... You know what? I think if we go with just steel, there's plastic. I want kind of black. That should do the trick. I want some cheapness adding in here. I don't want it to be too much of a glamorville. Also, until I can actually reform the body and reshape it, I don't want to do any of that stuff with the headlights and whatever. However, that's where I'm going with it. I think because it's a compact car, we could go with an inline 3. I'm thinking if we go with an inline 2, but that's not very Japanese, is it? So someone wants to see someone wants to see a Japanese car, so I'll go with what's a fairly conventional Japanese stuff. It was actually very similar to what was being used by the Mini, but I don't know, Japanese have used inline 3s, it's just in a vehicle of what I believe to be this size, this scale of vehicle. I think an inline 4 is about the relevant engine, and we want it to be just a solid, reliable engine. Dual overhead cam, 4 valve per cylinder. Oh, actually, no. I'm thinking Toyota 86 here, maybe, but with more power. Because the Japanese were some of the first to make, I guess, affordable 5 valve per cylinder engines along with the Germans. But the Japanese ones were naturally aspirated, so I hope you see where I'm going with this here. It's going to be a naturally aspirated, high-revving engine. And the bodywork is going to look cheap, as I said, but it's going to have a good engine and a good powertrain. Probably still front-wheel drive, but I could take it to all-wheel drive. No turbo, unless I go all-wheel drive with it. But I want to go high-revving, and I want to go with that kind of old VTEC style. Only in 2018. How will this pass emissions regulations? I have no idea. Blind hope and direct injection, and basically having all the technology thrown at it to get through the emissions regulations. and none of the features. That's how we have to do it these days, though. We have to get through using as best compromise as we can. So, do we want long tubular? I think tubular should be a better compromise overall. High flow freeway or freeway? I think because that's dealing with the emissions, we don't want to compromise on that. And we can have one muffler. Okay, so the RPM is already throttling out the engine, but look at that power, 128, that is nice. Shouldn't have no problem making 150 out of this. So that's how that's how I guess I'm going to go about it. I'm going to develop the car, and if anyone has any recommendations along the way, they can come and contribute and just, you know, suggest things. I want a manual. 6-speed manual seems like the tried and tested transmission of choice, and we will maybe go with a geared limited slip differential. Yeah, it's cheap enough if it's just a front differential and nothing else. We'll go with radials, obviously. We won't be going with cross plies on this. They're like the tyres you would find on a Lotus Elan, for example, or a Volkswagen Beetle. Not the tyres you would find in a modern car. So, not what you want. I think medium compound. I'm going with kind of a street tuner here. It has the base car look, but not the base car functionality, if that makes sense. Ooh, look at that. Bring the weight back. I don't know. I could go Ignosis as it and give more cabin space. Actually, yeah, it's front wheel drive. What am I thinking? I think I can bring that back just a little. Give it a bit more of a boot because I like the style there. I like a style having a boot, not necessarily because it's good for weight balance. And bring that back some. I don't know how old this body is. I would guess around 2003. It's quite an old body to be working with at this stage, but hey, what can I say? It seems to do the job. Do. No, I don't want to bring that forwards. We want that to be brought right back as much as we can, because front overhang is just for the most part useless. If you don't actually have a use for that front overhang, then why have it there? That's just my perspective on it. It doesn't look good. It doesn't improve performance necessarily. Yeah, we'll go with alloy wheels, but they'll look like old steel wheels. The overall feel I'm going for. 2-piston vented discs here. Gotta save some money. And drums on the rear. Drums on the rear are probably a little less than ideal. However, if I can get that to work, they are some very cheap, simple brakes, and they will help actually add weight to the back of the vehicle. If the weight is added to the back of the vehicle, it will somewhat help balance it out. Because remember, this is a front engine vehicle, there is going to be a fair old amount of weight at the front of it, and we have to deal with that somehow. We'll go with a fully clad undertray. I don't think we're any downforce, so it's front wheel drive. And interior, as I say, to get this crazy engine through the emissions regulations, we're going to have basic everything on it, and that'll have to work, although typically you would get nicer trim when you buy the sports version of something. That would not be the case in this case. Should we cheap out on seats? Actually, yeah, again, I think that saves weight and saves money, so we'll just have 4 seats instead of 5. Hard to see the particular disadvantage. We can have 5 seats if you're having a high trim variant. We can have hydraulic steering. Is there a weight difference though? Ooh, it's Japanese and we want reliability, so we don't want to go too mad. Electric is supposedly better for reliability. I don't know how that would be. That complex electricals are more reliable, but hey, I'll go with it in this case, since all else considered, they're about the same. Although no, sportiness. I say that. I say all else considered with the same sportiness advantage to hydraulic. And since we are building a slightly sporty car here, we want the sporty hydraulic system. What do these do to sportiness? These don't affect it. They don't affect it, however, ESC and LC, whatever that may be, does affect sportiness, so we don't want that. Don't want to go that far. We'll go with, I think, standard 10 safety. We don't need to go mad. It is a standard car. We're not going for Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes kind of trying to be premium levels of safety. Go with slightly upgraded dampers. Or could we even go with adaptive dampers? Adaptive dampers are more sporty. Ooh, the semi-active have the same production units but more development time. Ooh, this cost. Do I want to keep it cheap? I don't know. I think I want to keep it reasonably good over bumps. So sportiness is better on the worst technologies. This, even if it makes it technically floatier and less sporty, the material costs aren't actually that much more. They are more than double, but because standard springs are so cheap, I think we'll go with progressive. And that is a good cheap suspension setup. We have, oh, costumes up there, but sway bars are an important element. Semi-active sway bars. Or active. We could go with active sway bars, actually. It's one of the places. Yeah, sway bars is one of the places I feel we could really feel the benefit. Again, same with the suspension and the brakes back here. It's all primitive old stuff, but it works because what this is supposed to be is a basic car. We'll make it comfortable, maybe. I don't know, I think that's a bit too American look so boaty. Sport then, that'll have to do. There's nothing here. Come on. I finished building the car. Why isn't it coming up with anything? Dual overhead cam, 20 valve. It recognises all this stuff. We have 60% front weight distribution. And under 1200 kilograms front. Okay, so now it is going to be, I think, the design, since I've done other bits. Wheels, I did them. We can have hopefully some headlights. I think I know where to go with this. There's a few. And how can I do it with something I've not used already too much? You know what? I'm going to use these ones. Maybe it is a little predictable for me to just use whatever looks sensible and vaguely boring, like ETK 800 series lights, but I think I can make these work. So number plate. We can have camshaft, I guess. Camshaft there, and on the rear. Nope, we need a yellow one for the rear, don't we? You can just plop down there like so. Ooh, I've had an idea. It might not be very Japanese, but we could go full Fiat Multipla on the tail lights. Okay. That's not quite what I was going for, but it's just so many bits of silver showing through. Nope, they're not the ones. They're too classic-y. Ooh. Yes, finally! Headlights from an Alfa Romeo trying to mimic a Fiat Coupe on a Japanese car. Sure, nothing weird about this at all. There we go. And that's not big enough. They need to be bigger. It's like Hairdresser Simulator, only with cars. Or something weird. So, what can we have just positioned down here? Indicators, there we go. They're the ones we need. So, I think we'll go with the flatter ones. Yeah, my mind was just, when I zoomed in, it was like, wait, we could zoom in the whole time? Oh dear. Time to put a badge on, I think. I'm happy with this rear end. And what do we want? Ooh, ghouly ghosts and bats and yes, it's the spider. Well, it's red. It's literally the Spider-Man of cars. And I'm probably going to get a copyright strike for that or something weird. Flip it up the other way. I want to flip it up. Oh, it won't let me. So I'll check the chat, see if there's any suggestions in there to what I should do with it. No. No one's watching me. Why? Okay, so we need a spoiler, or do we? I think we do. Even if it doesn't work particularly well, I still think we need a spoiler. Spoiler alert. So, there we go. Oh dear. Oh dear. I've made a bit of a disaster of it. I think maybe if I just center it and then try and leave it there. No, that will not work. It will not do. The temple gods are unimpressed by my work, or lack thereof. We need one exhaust tip. Oh, we have all these modular bits as well. But for now, I think I'll just want one exhaust tip, a standard one on the rear end of the car, to get rid of all the fumes made by the engine. And then it's on to the front, where we need the spider badge, which is under the creepies. So you can get larger Mr. Spider. Ooh, I've had an idea. Minimalism yet maximism, if that even makes sense. So get kind of a pair of vents, and it can have a mustache, kind of. This is the best car I've ever built. No, it seriously isn't the best car I've ever built. Nor will it be, because I don't know. I can build things better, but it takes time. And in a stream, I'm sure people have better things they want to see than just constant design tweakery. There we go. Look at that. It looks like a big dragon or something with a spider badge. It's ridiculous. Now, we could go with door handles. These are pretty standard though today, whichever car company or country you're talking about. So, flip them round. There we go. I don't think we need ones with a keyhole on the back. So, again, flip them round. I said flip you round. There we go. So that appears to be vaguely intact as a design, and we have some grills. Oh yes, look at this. It's gonna be a bit miserable, if I put this on as I'm expecting it to go. Yeah, this car is just grumpy. It's not like angry, just bold and grumpy, and no one really likes it. But still, it will keep going. This is better. The friendly dragon. You are the friendly dragon. Can we bring it forwards? There we go. So the friendly dragon is looking okay. We need a fuel cap somewhere, and let's go with this mildly sporty one. I would say go with plastic bumpers, but then it's like, have you seen the bumpers on this? They're massive. They're not like the bumpers they had in the 80s, where they were cut to a point. However, I could try. That was my thought of the bumpers, and have these headlights got any indicators in? I think I see some, so we won't need any other lights, but we can upsell the buyer into thinking they need lights. Yes, indeed. And no, and that's as far out as they will go. Okay, just imagine there's some lights in there because nothing else wants to work. Or doing this, I guess, could work. And I say nothing else wants to work. I mean, that's one way of thinking of things. And yes, it is a pretty car. It's a pretty car. Please don't say anything else. You might offend it. So we need an antenna. We need all the stuffs and thingies. I'm quite proud of this, though, I must say. Even though it's not a pretty car, even though it's not the prettiest of cars, should I say, it does the job, you know, and it gets the job done. And that's really what you could ask for. Has anyone come to critique my design? No. Still, makes me wonder if I'm live, to be honest, but it's a good practice one, even if it doesn't work out. And I've got to not change the body. I'm not going that far. We have our Core 2 Duo colours. I don't want this to be any fancy colours though. Oh yes, Fairways did it. No, Fairways didn't do this car. I think it's because I made this ages ago and then I changed my PC or something. But it's not even really that Fairwaysy of a colour. Ah no. I think we can have pink. No. Okay, Fairways did do it. Because it's probably the nicest colour we've got here. Which isn't like a really Core 2 Duo-y colour. Which I don't want because I don't want it to be obvious that it's just the Core 2 Duo machine. Bumpers, front and rear, yes. Plastic. The problem there is, though, the trim on the bumpers is yellow. So although the bumpers themselves work okay, they actually have yellow trim on them. Unless, I guess I could change the trim. That would work. There's me doing all this stupid stuff, and the answer is literally white there. Just go and change the colour of the trim. Do we want them? Oh yes, look at this now. We do also need to fix the number plate, and that's gone the wrong way, I think. No. So this is what I meant to grab. They always did it. Just the excuse for everything now on this channel. He made it happen. And lower you. There we go. Oh, I've just realised there's still some yellow there. It's done. So that's the front. Maybe it doesn't look ideal. Maybe it looks cheap. Either way, that was kind of the intention. So I'm not doubting it particularly. The intention is that this has everything you need. That's a basic, and then nothing else. Oh, I'm changing the bumper. Oh dear. So we want the wheels to be brutal black as well. The door handles as well. They're another piece of trim that we could actually get away with plasticifying. So, no, we don't want you to be plasticified, we want you to be plasticified. Am I using different plastic? Yeah, there we go. That's right. And I've not got mirrors. Mirrors, where are you? I need to put some really cheapo mirrors on you, car, so I can turn you into somewhat of a drivable machine. Ooh, they're odd mirrors. Unlikely to be coming to a Japanese car near you, unfortunately. However, if I rotate them... Oh yeah, I like them. I probably shouldn't, but I like them. They are they're very simple. Yeah, they get the job done. I mean, what more could you want from a set of mirrors? And finish up here. If only we had that bit there, window though, because it just doesn't quite work with those. It doesn't quite work with those mirrors. Full stop. Admittedly, but I try. I do try. Even when my car's an ugly hunk of junk, I do try. We want this car to be high revving, so I think we want 1.8 litres of not VTEC glory, and 1795, that should do the trick. Move along. So we can rev higher, naturally. We don't want to rev too high, just rev higher without a turbocharger. And 15, 117, 18. This is gonna be like one quick economy car. 124. I've just realised I can ramp up the cam profile and get even more power out of it. How couldn't I think of this sooner, honestly? Maybe I should go with a 4-valve per cylinder and not a 5. I'm trying to think here. Although that would be less Japanese. I cry helplessly, knowing that no one's hearing me. Right, so what am I doing? 166 horsepower, and then it starts to go down after the point. Oh, yes. Excellent. It's a high compression engine. I think we can agree on that. 169. So we'll go and mess with this until... Ooh, yes. 170. This is pulling a lot of power from not a lot of engine, but not enough power still. I feel I should pull a bit more power, if that's even possible. Wait, so 1, 2, 3, and there we go. And no, I don't know. Can I go with a single? It does make a difference of performance, but 171 I somehow feel can be accomplished in other ways. No, not that way. We could go with multi-point. So, multi-point. No, it has to be 171 direct injection units. Or maybe no, multi-point is actually showing its capability. No, that's fine. I thought the difference was bigger. The difference is a lot smaller when it's actually come together and merged and everything. So 162 horsepower, 168 even, and then 169. I want 170. I've managed to get away with multi-point fuel injection. There's only so many places I can compromise though. Ooh. Looks like maybe the exhaust is an old restrictor. Oh yes. So we've had to go with an old exhaust upgrade. Ooh. How is that for just pulling all of the extra power out of it though? I don't like how big the exhaust is, but mind, I have managed to do something with it. I've made it a long tubular, and we've made 200 horsepower, which for a 1.8 is a fair old amount. I don't know where I want to take this though, because with a power curve as well, like that is a poor power curve. It just drops off in the middle. There's nothing there. We have got something though to give at least. We've got a 200 horsepower 1.8 litre engine. It shouldn't explode once I've lowered the RPM just a little, because of the way I set it up. I could probably build a better engine, I'll be honest, but this is pretty good. It's not the worst unit I've built. 140.7. Oh dear. Well, look at that then. The old cast iron bits are giving in. I say the old cast iron bits are giving in. I think the crankshaft's fine, but just the piston and con rods are beginning to give in. Actually, that's got me thinking, as a matter of fact. Could I try it with a low friction cast? It probably wouldn't get much of an advantage, but I could go with a 1.6 or something. It'll make less power still, but then the lightness of the car would still be here. The light weight of it would still be on its side. Anyway, as I was saying, a 1.6 is what I need. So that's thing. We want to keep fairly low-end internals to keep it cheap. There's low friction cast and whatever. Hyper cast. Yeah, the most unpronounceable term ever. I'm not sure if they have particular efficiency advantages, because this is a non-turbo engine. I'm going to need every efficiency advantage I can get, so emissions are lower on that, yes. And that piston copes even less. Okay, what? I think that's a mirror I used, a little mirror there. So, there we go. The Japanese compact car thingy, which isn't finished yet. Oh no, The temptation to put a transverse inline 6 in there is always here. Right, so bring that down. Piston still doesn't like it though. So let's see what I can do to you. He can rev to 9400 before he has any major problems. Ooh, yes, let's try and pull this 1.4 as far as it will go. Probably not that far, but still. And we want 163, maybe. We want as much power as you can get from this. I'm thinking the exhaust is probably too big now. And there we go. That brings the power band quite a bit better, so I want that. 88.9 kilos. That's quite a light engine, actually. Ooh, should we go with a turbo? Nah, I was thinking of going for the older VTEC style originally, so that's why I ended up building a high revving engine as it was. So, can we bring that down? Here, at this point, I'm just hoping I can get something out of it. No, it's clearly not working. Wait, so 160. This isn't bad. It would compete with a few Honda engines of the early 90s. I'm not sure what I'm building here though. Is it a hot hatchback with a saloon body for some reason? Or is it just an out of date, I don't know, is it an out of date sports saloon? This would have been quick if it was in the early 90s. Unfortunately, it's not in the early 90s. Okay, so there we go. Actually, I think I've realised what I've built. It's kind of a competitor to the Hoji Sunburst, and it actually does well in categories. What a surprise! Mainly because it probably doesn't realise that compared to the competitors, this is a cheapo mobile with plastic bodywork, but that's something that can wait for another day. I think if we go with 16s, since it is on sport suspension, it will probably make the ride slightly less hurtful, let's say. It's always going to be a very hurty ride, but maybe slightly less now. Ooh, what's happening to your headlights? Your headlights are in a bit of a mischievous moment. And wait, do we need wider tyres? What am I doing? I'm giving it wider tyres, but I don't think it needs it, and no. I think that's where they were. Yes, indeed, I've just about fixed them. So, should I go with direct injection, I wonder? Nah, I tried it before though, and the reason I ultimately went back was because it wasn't worth it. This, I think it does 7 seconds to 60, which, considering how underpowered it is, isn't bad actually. Where was summary? I thought it said it weighed just under 2 tons now. I'm like, where's all that weight coming from? No, 1151.4 kilos. Okay, that's fair enough. So, it weighs what you would expect a Sunburst to weigh in BeamNG, which is another game. And unintentionally, I have built an excellent rival to that car. I'm thinking, if I want to keep it cheap, then I should probably go with a 5-speed. What do the markets think? Depends. Either way, I think the 5-speed may be slightly better, and it's probably better for reliability, so I'll give it a go. I'll have to try. I'll have to try building this about as good as I can. Yeah, it's not designed for top speed, however, I'm not going to resist top speed if it comes. 8.0 to 60 now. But again, as I say, this is not bad for what it is. Oh, I just saw 111. That's 7.7 seconds to 60 with 5 gears, and it does 7. And I'm looping. Why is my mind looping? But we can have longer life tyres or sportier tyres. Pretty obvious choice, I think, based on what the market's saying. They want sport compound. Yeah, if it wanted semi-slicks, then I would have been shocked. But they don't want semi-slicks, so that's no surprise. And 113.3. Wait. No, that's not where I want to go. That's restricting the top speed too much. Wait, so 146, that's like the very limit though, of how tight I can push the gear ratios. 160 miles per hour is apparently what this will do. With 160 horsepower, this must be ridiculously aerodynamic. Because I've built cars in Forza and they need at least like 220 to get that. And that's the aerodynamic cars. That's not cars like this that are, well, just cheap and small and very underpowered. But 162, yeah. It normally takes something like 60 horsepower more in Forza to get that kind of speed from a car. What was I doing? Tires. Yeah, I was getting to tires, and then somehow, why do they want massive tires? Are you going to be telling me you want one flats next? What? Oh, okay. Great way to just ruin the sleeper atmosphere of this car by sticking huge 19-inch wheels on it. But hey, the market knows better, so no, I'm not gonna do that, I'm sorry. I like the basic look. It's something that I wouldn't often try in automation, and for that reason it's better than the best supercar in this game right now. So we need wider tyres though. It likes them. Now that's something I can do because they don't give away its sleeperiness as easily. Like, you know, you might notice a car has flared arches, but you're not gonna scream it, are you? Like, you're not gonna say it to everyone you meet. Like, I saw a car with flared arches the other day, and it totally weren't a Weiser Fiesta or something. There we go. I don't know, Weissers might have moved on to Lupos these days, to be honest. See a few Lupos. I think it was like the Saxo or 106 at one point, but they've kind of moved on. All the Weissers have moved with the times, as they say. Yeah, this is the latest Weisser mobile, only they wouldn't get it with this engine. They'd get like the 80 horsepower Wheezy 1.2 or whatever lower engine it can come with. I think the standard engine in the Sunburst is a 1.8, or the lowest engine in the Sunburst is a 1.8. 114.8 is where we are here, and it does not like upgrading the brakes, in that respect at least. So 114.4. Ooh, it likes making them to a certain size. 115. I've got drum brakes on the back. Let's see how well this can go. Oh dear. The rear brakes are already wider. Not wider. Huger than the front brakes. There we go. That's what I want. Some disc brakes. I was trying to be cheap originally, but it would have probably been too large for them to be cost effective in many ways. 200mm and 240mm for the brakes. Look at those little things, eh? Me torsion beam suspensions. If I go over to here, there's just one more thing I want to check, which is the lower half of the car. I have got the transverse engine, I've got the double wishbone front, as I notice in this game front suspension makes more difference for handling, and torsion beam rear because it just trails along and it's not as important for handling. We have double wishbone as well. We could have that on the way, but development time. Semi-trailing arm isn't that high for development time, and, well, solid axle coil, that is very low. Ooh. How is it for comfort, I wonder? If it's actually better for comfort, they're the same. Sportiness torsion beam is better. You know what? I might do something stupid. I guess there's the extra weight, though torsion beam is extremely light, remember? If we look at where it is, sport suspension, try and see, that's probably ruined my markets. No, not actually. 1154 still. We've got very little weight over the front. The torsion beam suspension, as I was saying, is very light. That's how I'm able to get 58% frontal weight distribution. The only car I know that's in Forza to get that is the Volkswagen Corrado. All front wheel drives other than that are more front heavy. And the Volkswagen might just be that way because of a glitch or something. It may even have been corrected in later games, and I remember. We have so what was it looking? 1154.2 and 116. Okay. Yeah, the markets really don't like that. 1154.6 was what the other number was. Yeah, 1178. I am thinking though, it is double wishbone lighter. Because regardless of what the markets say, I want this to be light. And I want it to corner well, above all else. But 1168, yeah. Torsion beam is very simple, technologically, but it's a very light car. This is also looking like a New York taxi from a very cheap taxi company that can't afford to buy you a proper one. 9400 RPM redline. Yeah, that's totally realistic. Totally. I love how neutral it is though. Look at that. I can't believe. What I can't believe though, we go to the tyres, and how would you ever need two 45 sport tyres to put down this power? So 116.8. Bring those out. Close enough. I think that's gonna do. That's gonna do for tyres, unless I can pull a bit more from Mystery Land. 115. Ooh. I'm sure there's a way though of pulling the performance back. Ooh, that is fascinating. So I make the tyres narrow enough, and it actually, as long as I sort out the offset, it kind of can start regaining the performance points, or at least at 215. Maybe that was a bit of a fluke, but nonetheless, that has probably helped dramatically with a bunch of other stuff, just getting it right. We have 7.7. Nope, that makes it slower. And no, I tried to push this as slow as it will go. 142 miles per hour. I was thinking it did 161. No, it does 142. Still not bad for the power it outputs. But it's like 160 is the power it's putting out at that point. So 116.4, yeah. Just missed the best element, so there we go. 7.6. Slightly quicker still. At this rate, we'll be beating Civic Type Rs. Well, probably not, because the Civic Type R, the first gen, was 20 horsepower quicker than this. But hey, if we get this right, it could be a very solid race platform in the same way the Civic Type R has become in certain video games. And do an active wing or cooling flaps? No. Yes, no, yes, no. Do we want the added weight? Do we want the added complexity? But moreover, do we want the added performance? Market isn't happy with that. Interestingly, the market, I think, has liked the narrower tyres in terms of the cost, because it has made it cheaper, if only slightly. So, they don't really make a difference. Downforce, no. 115.2. I don't know, do they want better infotainment? No. It's interesting, because Fun just wants a cheap, fun car. Family Sport, I have built cars there before, but Family Sport is like the slightly bigger cousin of this car. It's just a vehicle that's designed to be sportier and maybe quick, but not just raw fun like this is. This is designed, it can be fun, it doesn't even have to be fast, as long as people can have fun with it. Yeah, the markets, as I would have suspected, they do like the technology. So even though that is supposed to reduces sportiness, they like it. Power steering, I could go with none, to be honest. But they don't like that one bit. 124.3. Ooh! That is ridiculous. Did you see how much it leapt up there? Like, it leaps up over 10 points from hydraulic to electric variable. Well, I'm going with that then. Is this one of the categories where they're picky about safety? No, they don't give two figs about safety. That's a statement. That's a weird statement. I don't even know why I said that. I got like weird 1940s swearing or something. Probably that's what it is. Sport. This is too good. This is just too good in the markets for what it is. I came in with a plan and I got work done. How is this possible? So, it did a 129. I'm not sure what to make of that time, but that's it. It's 1152 kilos still. I don't know. I'm happy with this though. It's cheap, but it gets the job done. The markets are fairly competitive. Do we have to put the price up? Yeah, just a bit, I think. But even so, it still scores very highly in Fun, even with a higher price on it. You can't put a price on, what's it, steering. I guess because steering is important to the class, but still, ooh. I like how it's done that as well. And I didn't look at the miles per gallon, but respective that it is a high revving engine with about 160 horsepower, you would expect 35 horsepower, 35 miles per gallon. You'd expect 35 horsepower. That is not a lot, 35 horsepower at all. So where's the pony budget? No, it's recognised it is a basic sedan though. Probably the body type I've used, but I like how they've recognised it's basic and, you know, that I've used perhaps a basic interior and not a premium one, because you can have smaller cars that are premium. I wonder though, I wonder if I could get more gears to work. Just a thought, because I did see it could go quicker with more gears. So 122.5 is what I've got to beat. I think I can do that. 122.5. No, it doesn't really like the 7-speed. Do. Ooh, it doesn't like the 7 speed too much, but the 6 speed it does like. 7.1 seconds 0 to 60, so yes. The 6 speed is an improvement, not the 7 speed, because too many gears, I guess, just for a small number of miles per hour. Unless I use one of the gears to go over the edge, as I guess overdrive, I think they call it. That could work very, very well. So we need to bring this up, and 30. So it's normally 35 to 36 miles per gallon, I'm noticing. I don't think it likes it though. It's trying. It really is trying. It just doesn't like it. So there we go. Nope. I need something else to build. I'm bored. Yeah, 77 actually. 40 years ago sounds like quite an interesting time period to build a sports car in. We have these things that are like RX-7s. Ooh, sport pickup. These are vans, but they may be pickup variants. Ah, no, it might be a little ugly. That's why I'm using it. Well, at least the ladder frame works, you know. Ooh. Yes. Volvo Buick Estate super thing. Yeah, I'm doing this, sorry. I was going to do a pickup, but the Volvo Buick body has distracted me. The superior weight balance. Can we get a two-door estate? No. Oh, it would have been just perfect if we could get a two-door estate. So, bring you forwards. There we go. The huge amounts of practicality from this. This is going to be stupid. We're going to be off for an adventure. Do you want to be off for an adventure? Probably not, but you're going to be off for one anyway. If you go anywhere near this car, that is for sure. So, wait, I can press and hold shift. My mind has just told me this is miraculous. Thank you, brain! My brain did something useful! It wasn't design a bad car! Yeah, isn't it funny? We've gone from designing cheap, ugly cars of the 2000s to designing really nice cars of the 1970s. And you are too big for me. So, there we go. Anyone seeing AMC Gremlin in it? I should hope not. Although I kind of do. They say as will be punished. Um, all it takes is me looking at it and I just know how ridiculous it is. Why not add some chrome? Because that makes everything better. It does on this channel. We need everything to be wood and chrome because it makes a world go round. That's just nothing. That doesn't do anything that I know of. So, can we go with event? There might be event that's actually better as a grill, if that makes sense. And I think we have found one that's better as a grill than the grills were in many ways, at least for this particular application. where we just need something big and American. It's not going to be too much of a muscle car though. It's got to be a sports car. The problem is I built it so clearly a muscle car. It really is. But it shouldn't be. No, that is not what I want. No, you go to that behind the grill, that's nicer. So I don't know what to make of it. We could have some active aerodynamic. No, not in the 1970s. I think these are more reflectors than indicators, but they'll have to do because what else do we do? It's the 1970s and we have loads of parts bin bits. There's also been oil crises though, hasn't there, in the 1970s? So we have to cater to that as well. That we can't build vehicles just that are like brutal muscle cars anymore. Although although I wasn't bearing that in mind. I mean, kind of part of what I'm doing. Although yes, it does bring to mind that the unitary construction is probably better, but no, it has to be a boat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mind just hit against it. My mind just says, no, you're not doing that. We have to have boaty suspension. Ooh. It's me. It's gonna be an inline six. So, it's an inline six. I think overhead cam, because it's more efficient than push rod, and nothing else will have really been invented yet, other than the dual overhead cam. I think 2 valve per cylinder is technically possible, and it is a sports car, so we're going to claim every benefit we can over the muscle cars. And this is likely to be efficient, remember, that's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for reasons of performance. Just make it a 1.5 litre. No, it has to have some displacement in order to move a body which is likely to be quite heavy. So I'm thinking if we could go with a 3.5 litre, a 3.5 litre inline six, hopefully a turbo as well if I can get it to work. I don't know if I can get it to work, and it's very early days of turbos here, but they were around. The BMW 2002 Turbo, for example, was one such example of a car, I think the same year even, that had a turbocharger on top of the engine to make more power. The internals will be cast iron, we've got to save money somewhere, and it has to be there. We'll go with nothing here because there's nothing I can adjust yet. And yes, we can get turbochargers. Journal bearings are the only bearing options we have, but that's fine. I think I can deal with that. Fuel economy will be the preset though, and we'll try and make what performance we can. If I get 200 horsepower, I will be happy with that. Triple eco carburetors, because that has proven in the past, if we just use more economy carburetors, we can get good economy from them, yet good performance at the same time. I think regular fuel as well is what we will be using. And moving on, we will hopefully get two-way catalytic converter. I'm doing everything in my power to make this thing somewhat performing-y yet efficient. And that's the sound of the engine. No, the engine just doesn't have a sound because it breaks whenever I try and use it. That is not a good attribute to have in your car. We can go and hopefully adjust something. Bring that down. Again, reasons of economy as I do that. The intercooler, I'll adjust that a bit later, once I've actually got the bass tuning. Oh, yes. It's not perfect. However, there is performance to be had. That is the crucial thing we have to remember here. So, bring this up. I don't know. I'm not happy with that. Again, just trying to adjust all the bits and doodahs. Maybe I need to make it bigger still. Or maybe I just need to adjust it more, but hard to say. Problem is, if I make it bigger, I fear for the life of the engine because it can only rev to 7100 as it is. I can make the exhaust bigger. No bypass valves back then. So I just have to make do with a huge exhaust pipe, I guess. Or a V8. Fuel economy. It's just... I can imagine this on the street. It would say turbo in big letters, but then it would make the best part of about 160 horsepower. Come on! The last engine was more impressive than this. But then I guess you could say technically that's more impressive than a lot of things. It was... I mean, the best race engines are only able to beat that by a few ways, and not by that much anyway. 171. So, there we go. Although this is weak and underpowered, it does something. And there we go. So, yeah, I like how the power curve flattens out there, but unfortunately I feel it's something wrong with the tuning. So, don't want that. Ooh, 125.1. Look at this. Speed. So there we go, there's our engine sound. And I think we want rear wheel drive because if we try... Oh. If we try front wheel drive, the economy will be better. Nah. It's a sports car though. Yeah, it's just this thing at the back of my mind is making me build this into a boat, not a sports car. It's wrong. I know. Front wheel drive is probably even better for performance by this stage. Ah, here's where we're gonna get differentiated though. I bring in the Alpine A110 again, a sports car which I think had a 5-speed transmission from the factory around this kind of era. But still, a 5-speed manual. It's a good thing we can finally get out of 4-speed transmissions here though, especially when we're not going to have a lot of power to kind of put through the transmission. The transmission's going to have to do a lot to help us. We don't need any fancy differentials, it's just a road car, but we can go with radials, and they will help handling a huge amount. Hard long life radials, material cost is 800, and material cost of these is cheaper, so we'll have to be aware of that. If we are using these, they're pretty much supercar tyres, so we have to go with hard long life to make it kind of affordable, but I believe the advantages are here, because radials are that much better for handling. Alloy wheels, again, they were a technology that was around. Have we used a steel body? Yes, we have. I'm thinking, do we want the galvanised steel? Yes, we do. But it's just, if the body was made of aluminium and was putting all this technology inside the car, cost would be kind of questionable. But I guess if I'm still using a steel body, it's okay and understandable. Right, so these tyres and wheels are narrow, and I don't know. In order to get this to look good, I'll have to go with radials and bigger wheels naturally. But I think if I can get away with smaller wheels will look good. Have we I showed the visual changes now. If you look at the cross plies and the radials in Forza, uh, cross plies have kind of more rounded edges on them. Alloys, yep. We'll go with solid discs front and rear, but no vented discs. That should be good. Oh no, solid discs front. Harder discs, no, drums on the back. Trying to think of a term. We'll go with a semi-clad under tray. I don't know if anything used that back then, but hey, it's fully clad. We can save a bit of money. And we'll go with... Ooh! Third row! We can go with a third row, a full third row of seats. That is craziness. Yep, we're having a bench seat to boat of a sports car. Oh no. I'm sorry, just a 9-seater sports car is just so stupid, and I'm sorry about the body coloured bumpers. It should have caught my attention earlier, and it did, but I didn't say anything, and now look where we are. Ooh, look, that's better still. I can't seem to do much about what's underneath it. Trim, chrome. Ah, do we have like wheel trim? Ooh, I think we do. We have wheel trim. We have lots of paintable trim here. Window trim, that can all be chrome. And bumpers front and rear. Why hasn't that painted? Oh, I see. There we go. Beautiful. This is just ridiculous, though. Chrome wheels. It's a land yacht pretending to be a sports car. I've basically given up, though, now on my aim of building a sports car. It's a land yacht. I might as well not even bother trying to describe it as anything other than a land yacht. But we do have an 8-track system, so that's something. Hydraulic power steering, which is a necessity with what this is going to weigh. Advanced 70s safety. And we'll go with standard suspension, set up for comfort. Whee! Okay, it does 15 miles per gallon. How heavy is this? I have to see if I'm working some kind of miracle here. Admittedly, it is dual overhead cam, but how is the weight? 1637. Okay, that's not bad, given it's heavy and it's from the 1970s. But I would have expected better from my engineering. Obviously not genius. And comments. Anyone with your comments? Ooh, I've got comments. Something about shrimps. Okay. Wait, are people on the wrong stream? I don't know. Yeah. Some people got lost here. And then they ran off and they were never seen again. I'm that scary. Anyway. We'll go with, let's see. Higher compression, yes, that's giving me more power. And along we go. No. You don't want to... You don't want to go there, so... I don't know. Honestly though, the fact that it's got a fuel economy turbo cell, is that hindering the power too much? Or is the carbs hindering the power? Eat your carbs, kids. Or the performance gods won't come. Right, so doesn't seem to be that. That doesn't seem to be a restriction. Maybe if I go with twin carburetors. Ooh, twin only takes 2 horsepower over 3, which is pretty good, I would say. We're cutting corners the good way. Do we want to take off the turbo completely? Would that potentially help? I mean, I say likely not, but I could be wrong. I did mention this. For next to no weight, I can gain power by adjusting that. That is something. We can do that, and 173 horsepower. We we have this setup, but no, performance is what we need. Now I'm scared. All that turbo lag. 200 horsepower. As the surge of turbo will hit you. Wait, so is that good? Wait. I think if I can kind of use this. The thing is, if I can kind of edge the figures to be just right. I don't know. Why am I looking at that one? There we go. I've got enough room to base to play with, and down that can go. No. Are you going to work? Hmm. That looks reasonable as a power curve. It kind of comes together. I say that though, it's just as bad as the economy curve, so that's a thing. Ooh, that was a leap of power though. Huge exhaust pipe, but a leap of power. Ooh, and that as well. It just randomly leaps up to 16 miles per gallon. By my standards, that's good. And I'll have to take that. Oh, I think I failed at building a sports car, honestly, here. I'm trying my very hardest to tame a turbocharger setup, and I don't know. Wait, naturally aspirated? Those turbos were nothing but trouble. I can remember words. It just takes some time. So, the smoothness of a 5 litre inline 6. Sure. Wait, what am I doing? I'm sorry. I've made this engine out of aluminium, it's just habit. Although, it should be cast iron. So, I should be able to get about 220 horsepower now from this. Which is, for the time, at least up with the muscle cars. And that is much more positive a note, I think, to end on. Not that we're ending here, just I think I think I can make art with words when I can't. Triple carburetor, yeah, that's what we need when we have more power. Or maybe just no. I'm not questioning it now. The eco stuff is the eco stuff, and that way as it will stay. Because if I just try and mess with it, and remove a certain eco element from the engine, it'll just go wrong. I'm already running the engine quite close to its limits, and I don't want to upgrade it to be more complex than it actually is. It's already dual overhead cam, let's be honest, that's something. 85, ooh. I found some more performance. As I said, I should be able to get at least 220 horsepower. So, I have got that. Can we edge that? Ooh, 222. I think, does that improve economy as well? Yes, that supposedly improves fuel economy as well. Oh dear. All of the exhaust size. Right, now this is where I'm going to compromise, because no, I can't make it smaller. Okay. It is a cast iron engine, but I don't know. $224. I don't know, I guess I'll have to just leave it there and have it break off into two or something. Because that would not work. It just would be too big. However, broken off into two, the exhaust would be quite reasonable size. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. And see if this is somewhat economical. Probably not, but I could be wrong. Oh, also the sound. There you go. You accelerate in this car and you're let to know it's doing something. And all things being said and done, it's actually not too slow either. Although, the miles per gallon is just weak. So I don't know where to take it. I know I could add the turbos in again. Suggestions, save me! And no suggestions are magically gonna save me from this one. Okay. I could go to V engines. Sure. V6. I guess it's got 4 cams instead of 2, which is something. And that might help in the long run. So, let's see if this old cast iron unit I'm building is going to be any good. I can actually get very high market statistics by removing seats. Ooh, muscle! I thought more of a sports car was what I was going for, but you know, if that's what it wants. 91 and 77.5. I don't know, I like the idea of having at least 5 seats, but apparently this doesn't, so 99.5, 78.2. 96. Nope. I don't know. I'll go with a 2 plus 2, kind of. Would you call it 2 plus 2? More like a full-on 4-seater. But this can easily seat people in the booth, so I don't know. Anyway, what do we want in terms of interior? Luxury, no. Uh, phonograph. Ooh, muscle likes phonograph. Okay. Makes it more affordable as well, which is odd. Okay, if that makes it better on the market, and that's what I'll go for then. Muscle likes safety. Ooh. So, what have we got? We've got progressive springs, say near is no difference on price. Hydro pneumatic effects are priced a fair old bit. Yeah, set that for comfort, and let's see. It's a goofy old thing, this. I could spend ages doing the chrome, but I don't really want to. We have a 1600 kilogram muscle car, which I've kind of tried to make into a sports car and failed badly at. Utility Sport Premium is kind of what it fits into. Front wheel drive, I wonder. You know what? I'm daring enough to try that. I'm daring enough to try it because the miles per gallon is so bad. It's 11.4 there, and it's 11.2 there. I'm trying longitudinal front wheel drive with a 5-speed manual. Oh, wait a minute. Should I go transverse? Nah. You know what? I'm going to revolutionise this thing. Even with my mind wanting it to be a land yacht, I'm going to make it go through very much a revolution. It's still going to be chrome and everything, but I could go with sport suspension. Yes, sport suspension, and maybe another seat in the back, because practicality. We'll go with front wheel drive, as I was saying, which means we don't need the wider rear tyres. They are completely unnecessary in this context. It is quick, I'll give it that, although I wouldn't call it a muscle car as such. It's more a quick road car, if that makes sense. 127, and that's not bad. That is pretty quick for a front wheel drive car from the 70s. 118.8. Why do you like this torture? 119. Wow. How does it enjoy that though? Like, how does it enjoy having such long gear ratios? You're not car, whatever that means. Thing is, remember this was an inline 6 and now it's a V6. V6 is a lot better as far as size of the engine goes, so in terms of fitting it in, how does it even come across as a convertible? It's an estate based on a pickup truck. Ah dear, and it's not even based on a pickup truck anymore. Like, if we look at this, it's a unitary chassis now, meaning I can actually save some development time and money on McPherson struts, and then go with solid axle coil on the rear. So, you know, we've saved a bit of money there. What have I done to the... I've done something to the gearing. I don't know. So, zero point 0.9. No, that'll do. There we go. Just dropping off the power as we hit the top speed of 126. 11.2 miles per gallon. Again, what it's capable of. And I guess I could get more on the performance rating, or not performance rating, the market rating, but I don't want to compromise mile per gallon. which shouldn't be what I'm thinking of in a sports car, but hey, I am. We could go with cross-ply and lose our miles per gallon. Change the tyres has the same effect, and they cost a lot more, so we don't want to do that. So that's 117.1. 117.1. No. 205s. 205s are what you have. Even they're probably not wide enough though, let's be honest. With all that this car is put through, we'll have maybe some slightly better brakes. No. 117.1. You can go 2 piston solid discs. Let's try you. Ooh. It seems to like them. Seems to like having 2 piston solid disc brakes. Just, as I say, I'm going with kind of a revolution with this. It needs the larger wheels. Thankfully, being a vehicle competing in the muscle category, it kind of likes it anyway. They are, I would say, too big. I would say too big, but the market seems to, for whatever ridiculous reason, like it. So, I'll leave that at that. 120, I don't know. How does 16s look? Still too big for a car of this era. 14s look good. 14s are large, but they're not too large. Unless I can get some different wheels on, but it's problem finding some different wheels that are still somewhat era relevant. That's not easy. We can have the wheels oh, these ones are the ones to go for. So it's got alloys, yes, that's something. And what else can we change? Markets, do you want any sudden changes making? Actually, could do that. That would probably be worth it, actually, as I can get better miles per gallon, I believe, from having the more standard trim, and it gets me a cheaper car in general. And then, no, nothing below that. So, nope, you don't like anything like that. As I was saying, we have that, but I don't know. Do you want 117.8? 250mm brakes. Reasonably large, but not too large. So then we have 117.8 is the next biggest. 117. 118. And there we go. Solid discs all around. That saves a bit of money, I hope. And look at this muscle car we've built, which is kind of muscle car because it's front wheel drive. I don't know. This is weird. This isn't muscle. This is just weirdness. Amazingly, muscle car prospective muscle car buyers don't seem to like having a auto over a manual. Ooh, I can make a 4-speed work. I can make 4-speed work, I think. But miles per gallon! Ooh, it's actually better! Who would have thought? 118.1, It was temporarily better, let's say. And yeah, top speed is hit right about there at the very top of the RPM range. So what can we do? Can move that back. Don't want to do that too much though, so we lose the miles per gallon I was bragging about. For 4 gears, 8.5 seconds to 60, and 11.7 miles per gallon, and it's still somehow considered a muscle car, and quite a good one at that. Yeah, 237 horsepower though. In the 70s, it was a lot, because these cars weren't hugely impressive for power back then. So for it to make such an amount of power, it's not doing bad. And that's not my breathing, that's just a mouse. Wait, am I seeing this correctly? Are you... Oh, you are. You're poking your carburetors through the bonnet. Right. That won't do, because we need something. We also need to finish off the rest of the design, but we need something to go here. So, if I go with bonnet, because I feel it could work, we just need to do it realistically. Badge, as well. We can go with a animal. Let's go with this. Kind of a Pontiac. Not a Pontiac, but kind of that type of vehicle, I guess. It's weird looking, but kind of fast. You know? Pontiac, what's it? Firebirds were just Camaros. So yeah, you just got Camaros. I actually, oddly, I like the final gen of Pontiac Firebird, which was it was a very strange looking thing, but it had pop-up headlights, so I mean, I guess that means I would like it. But you know, it was like an odd alien, let's say, is probably the best way to describe it. Let's put some let's put some sport plates on it, like that Xbox video made ages ago. Sport, 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 TV, TV. Because that was basically what they talked about for the entirety of the press conference. That could go down there, or it could go up there. Nah, I think it belongs on the bumper, honestly. I think this belongs kind of there, if this makes sense. Bring it forwards as much as I realistically can, and try and make any bit of it I can chrome, so it just blends in with the bumper. Yeah, it's not the best, but I tried. And it works on the front because, well, there's just a huge gaping hole with nothing in it. On the rear, the hole is smaller, so I can't quite pull off the same trick. I feel I should have something here. Maybe not a lot, but if I could just get a little vent or something, it would be something to help add to the design overall. There we go. And do we want to move it up? Yep, there we go. No. Close enough. Close enough is our brand slogan. we had some quality problems in the 1970s. Go figure why. Go figure why we had quality problems. Our slogan is literally close enough. Oh dear. So, 4-speed manual front wheel drive beast. Yes. Dual overhead cam. Or is it a quad cam engine? Yeah, that's it. I was looking for the bonnet covers though. How did I even end up filling vents in on the car? I don't know. We'll have a chrome filler cap, which can go somewhere there. I wonder. I wonder if we could make a logo here go forwards. No, we couldn't. I know, it's like a genie coming out of a fuel filler cap. That's just perfect. And all the old McPherson struts being cheap in the front end. So, what was I trying to do? Bonnet. I don't know. I just there scoop. I finally found it. This looks a little too modern. Plus, it kind of doesn't fit. I don't know. I need to cover those though, because it's unrealistic that a car manufacturer would just leave something like that sticking out without making any attempt to fix it. So there we go. It's a bit of an ugly solution, but hey, it's a solution. The engine doesn't fit in the engine bay in reality, so I've had to cheat its way in if I can just find a good angle to show this. No, actually, maybe let's reshape the bonnet as well. I know, I think I'm showing it now. Just all that blue there. And it just goes to show you can't make a good car with a 60-degree V6. No. If that was actually true though, I would be doing a disastrous thing there. Anyone else commenting? Nope. And there's our engine. I think we're getting here. Or there. Or wherever we're getting somewhere. 11 miles per gallon. I'm able to hold that, just about. Ooh. Fascinating. I'm not going to keep the exhaust this open because that is stupidly huge. However, 63mm, they are massive exhausts, but look at how much power I've got now. 252 horsepower, that is a lot of power. And all that up from about 235 or something from just opening the exhaust. That's all I had to do to gain it. Quite impressive actually then. I didn't have to do anything more advanced. Doesn't look like there's engine problems. Let's hear this beast then. There we go. 308 kilograms of not American stuff. That's kind of a muscle car engine. It's very powerful, though. I wonder if it's... Oh, what? Opening the exhaust has made it more economical? What world is this? I opened up the exhaust and let more power out and it's more economical? This is madness. Although maybe it is less economical, but the gear ratio's lined up. I don't know, it's hard to say by this stage. So, what's the speed? Yeah, I need to try and get this transmission working. So, 7.4. Oh dear, all the miles per gallon are dripping away. 11.5. So 11.5 miles per gallon and 7.3 seconds to 60. I would say that's slow, but for the time that was properly quick. And the fact that it's now outputting over 250 horsepower, it's beginning to become a proper muscle car, even if it is front wheel drive. Oh dear. This is going to be a bit of a handful. I wonder though, yeah, it does begin to get quicker thanks to the tyres getting better as well, but that's not the be all and end it of all. I don't want to change the tyre compound. Because I'm reasonably happy now with where I've got it for material cost. If I try and mess with that too much, I'll just end up with more expensive tyres and higher fuel consumption, and I don't want that. So, what do we have in terms of brakes? Can I do anything there? That, I can kind of do something. 245 there. Yeah, I can kind of rebalance the brakes just a little. And that will give me... That would give me the extra performance. So, that is... I don't know how much to cost, but... One for engineering time, and... 0.67 for engineering time? I don't know. Ah, I think I get it now. So if I have a choice, solid discs with 3 piston is easier to develop, I guess. But the markets don't like it as much. 116.3. Where are you when I need you? 116.1 and 0.2. Do do do. Okay, 1, 2. That'll do. 235 all round. Slightly weaker rear brakes. That'll have to do. And I just realised I've completely forgotten about the carbs. They're still twins.